Hey, everybody. It's kind of interesting. I want to talk about reinventing yourself. And this comes from I was talking to someone and they're kind of stuck in the past, the things that happened in the past, which led them, in their opinion, to being who they are now. Well, this morning I did a quick little post on a couple Instagram and Facebook and a couple things. Um, but I want to stress that, you're not just who you are. You could be who you were meant to be, right? But part of that has to be you have to look at your life a little bit different because many people get stuck in those things about what they did. So, another way to look at it, you're not just what you did, but here's the kicker that very few people talk about. You are what you repeatedly do now, right? Many times go like back in the day. Well, that's back in the day. Just put that out. What do you do now? You are what you repeatedly do. And I would caveat that with one other thing. You are what you repeatedly do and the people you repeatedly hang out with. If you want to change, many things, a lot of people know my clinical expertise is in addiction, especially helping people quit drinking and other drugs. But, you there's a bedrock pretty much across the board of all the successful, people that help people overcome these things, not the people that claim to be an expert that no one ever heard of and they disregard all the research, all the stuff from the past, but pretty much across the board is you kind of have to change your playmates and your playpens, as they'd say in the 12-step world, right? Because if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. So you kind of have to look at things differently. And that's how you begin to quit being who you used to be, is you become who you're hanging around with now and all the things that you're repeatedly doing, right? You're not going to get in great shape if you go to the gym or you once a month, or you go for a walk once a month, you eat healthy one day out of the week. That's not how it works. It's what you repeatedly do. Consistency is the key to continuing on the path to making these things. Now we have a lot of other things that we can do with hypnosis and the NLP to help speed up reinventing yourself, right? Because again, it's not just the things you do, it's also how you think. And again, how you think is influenced by the people you hang out with and the things that you repeatedly do. So, it's the kind of thing I was talking to this person about, saying you can't get stuck in the past, right? You have to focus on the future, right? And, who is it you think you were meant to be? What do you want to do, right? And again, I know people are watching this on like Facebook, LinkedIn, um, YouTube, a couple other places I stream these. And again, it's what you repeatedly do. I said I was going to make some changes. So, one of my tasks, because I do have a coach, and he said, you need to stream every day, a couple of short things, like for Instagram and TikTok, and then a little bit of a longer live stream. And so, and you need to do it consistently. And so sometimes the hardest thing you have to do is follow your own advice. It's the old the Solomon's paradox, that you give a stranger, you'll give another person the advice that will really help them, but you won't follow it yourself. I've coached people on how to do this and how to do that. And then, sometimes I notice, well, I'm not doing that, right? So, so I've been practicing this. So again, it's like, who do you want to be, right? And that, who do you think you were meant to be? And then you begin to design the life that will be there. One of my big differences is that I teach people when it comes to like stopping drinking or drug use is not fighting a relapse, not saying no, not, struggling with that. It's to help you create a life where using is unimaginable to you because it would ruin everything that you have, right? Because by the time people usually, no one ends up calling a therapist, a coach, rehab, AA, anything like that because they're on a hot streak, they're winning. Usually there's some negativity. And if you begin to develop the kind of life, let's say a relationship with your friends and family, let's say a career, let's say, you've had trouble with the criminal justice system, that's all behind you. And now that you're living a good life, you're doing the things you want to do. And that picking up that drink or that drug can ruin it all, right? Because when you first start making this change, too, people from the past, especially family members, remember they're looking at you from that lens of you are what you repeatedly do, especially if you had several, you went to rehab before, you've tried this, you've tried that, nothing seemed to work. You just had to put that in the back of your mind and keep going forward. And that's the kind of things that we talk about. So, I always forget to do this at the beginning. I gotta make a mental note, is wherever you're watching this, click subscribe, leave a note or comment, pass this around. And again, to reinvent yourself, you have to realize you're not just who you are right now. You are inside who you're meant to be. You're like how the butterflies waiting to emerge, right? But if things get in the way, especially alcohol, drugs, other bad behaviors, that's going to hold you back. So it's not just what you did in the past or didn't do. It's what you do repeatedly on a daily basis that really moves you forward. So anyway, if you want some more information on this, just reach out to me wherever you're watching this. Again, click like, subscribe, pass this around, leave a comment. I'm very grateful that I've been able to do the things that I've been able to do. And so I hope to see you all soon, and keep in touch.